Lionel Andres Messi. Hailed by football enthusiasts, analysts, and even fellow professionals as the greatest footballer to ever play the sport.
Hay gente que me dice, yo vi jugar a Pelé, yo vi jugar a Maradona. Yo puedo decir que yo vi jugar a Leo Messi.
He doesn't have the ball. It's unbelievable, the character, how we press, how we work for the team. He's one of the gods of football.
He has achieved a groundbreaking 6 Ballon d'Or awards, 6 European Golden Shoes, and holds records for the most goals and assists in La Liga history.
Es un premio para el grupo más que individualmente porque son muchos goles y solo no lo hice conseguir.
Diagnosed with a medical condition at just 11 years old that could have derailed his career before it even started, Messi defied expectations and stunned the world with his extraordinary footballing talent.
Statistics and history go out of the window, the way he's playing.
Experience the journey of one of football's most legendary figures, and delve into the story of Argentina's footballing icon.
Crecí y aprendí muchísimo y bueno, y ahora intento de seguir agregando cosas a mi fútbol.
This is the mesmerizing tale of Lionel Messi.
Siempre lo dije, ¿no? Que no juego ni para ser el mejor de la historia, ni el mejor del momento, ni nada de eso. Juego para intentar hacer las cosas bien, primero para el equipo, ya sea el Barcelona o la selección argentina, después para la gente y sobre todo para mí.
Born on June 24, 1987, Lionel Andres Messi grew up in a city that breathes football, Rosario, the largest city in Santa Fe. Messi was raised by his father, a steel factory manager and part-time football coach, and his mother, who worked in a magnet manufacturing workshop. His family shared an immense passion for football, spending weekends watching matches and engaging in the sport whenever possible.
Well, Messi was born into a football family. His dad was a coach, and he was born in a football city. Rosario in Argentina was one of the host cities for the World Cup in 1978, almost 10 years before Messi was born. This is a city that loves the game, and it's a family that loves the game, that is steeped in the game through his father. And Lionel Messi, his first influence is through, of course, his father's love of football, but also his grandmother's willingness to take him anywhere that football takes him as he begins to make his way in the local football scene.
Messi quickly developed a passion for the sport as he was surrounded by it. He constantly played with his older brothers, Rodrigo and Matias, and by the age of 4 was determined to join a local team.
His father, who is a coach, takes him to the local club Grandoli and looks after him there and influences his first steps as a very young player, 4 years old when he goes to Grandoli. But of course, Newell's Old Boys are the Rosario club, and the club that Messi has supported all his life. And very quickly they become aware of any emerging talent on their doorstep, and little Lionel Messi is very much an emerging talent.
Messi moved clubs when he was 6 years old, joining the Newell's Old Boys, a local club located in Rosario. Here he played for over 6 years, developed his skills even more, garnering more match experience, and surrounded himself with other future prospect players. Whilst at Newell's, Messi was already showing off what type of player he was going to become in the 6 years at the club. He went on to score almost 500 goals and became a member of the Machine of '87, who were named that due to the fact that they were the near unbeatable youth side since their birth in 1987. Audiences loved watching Messi play, as he was not only scoring regularly, he would also perform tricks at halftime.
Una diablura con la pelota, la llevaba atada, tenía una velocidad, esos trancos cortitos que él tiene, y con qué facilidad pasaba jugadores, ¿no?
It seemed like his career in football was going to blossom. But at the age of 11, Messi received some news that would put his professional football career at risk.
He's an outstanding footballer, the best of his group. Newell's Old Boys know all about him. However, there comes an age when kids start to grow, where little boys shoot up. You can never quite predict where that age will be, but with Lionel Messi, it just didn't happen. The problem for Lionel Messi is that it becomes apparent by the age of 11 that he's not really growing at all, and he's diagnosed with this growth hormone deficiency, which casts his whole future into doubt.
Él era consciente de que era chiquito y que en lo deportivo le generaba cierta desventaja. A mí, cuando los chicos no crecen, les interesa, no sé, ser altos porque quieren ser más altos, por estética, por las minas, él quería jugar al fútbol. Él siempre decía si iba a crecer como para jugar al fútbol, que quería jugar. Y yo le decía, vos quédate tranquilo que vas a ser más alto que Maradona. No sé si vas a ser mejor, pero vas a ser más alto.
Messi underwent the treatment despite the fact that it cost his family almost $1,000 a month. He continued to play for Newell's, putting in great performances every week. But things were about to change for the young Lionel Messi.
So Messi at this stage is still with Newell's. He's still trying to tackle this problem of will he grow enough to be a footballer. Some people say he's never going to amount to anything. River Plate are interested in signing him as well. But the family look beyond that. He has connections in Spain, in Catalonia, and he ends up at the age of 13 having a trial with Barcelona, and Barcelona immediately want to sign him.
The Messi family traveled to Barcelona after receiving the go-ahead for the trial. Almost immediately during the trial, Barcelona's first team director, Carles Rexach, wanted to sign him as he saw an instant talent. But unfortunately, due to his age and the fact he wasn't from Catalonia, the board of directors were hesitant to bring him in.
If you try and imagine the 13-year-olds at a trial with Barcelona, these are not the ordinary kids that you and I play with on the street. These are already the creme de la creme. But when Lionel Messi walks into this trial, nobody at Barcelona is under any illusions at all. He is the cream of that already very, very exclusive club, and they have to have him.
A few months later, Barcelona were given the final chance to sign the Argentine prodigy. And on the 14th of December, Messi was offered his contract, which was written on a paper napkin. Barcelona was his new home, and in February 2001, the Messi family relocated to an apartment in the city. Despite being signed to one of the biggest clubs in Europe, Messi was finding it hard to integrate into the youth squad due to the Spanish footballing law. He was unable to play any games apart from friendlies and Catalan league games. Because of this, his relationship with other teammates was almost non-existent, with some of them labeling him a meat. On top of that, his mother moved back to Rosario with his brothers and little sister, leaving him with just his father, causing him to feel constantly homesick. Eventually, in 2002, Messi was enrolled in the Royal Spanish Football Federation, meaning he was now eligible to play in all competitions. He had also befriended some of his junior teammates. Those included Cesc Fabregas and Gerard Piqué. Now eligible to play in all competitions, Messi displayed his true talent to all the Barcelona staff, and that year Messi became part of the youth team known as the Baby Dream Team, Barcelona's greatest ever youth side. During his first season in 2002-2003, Messi ended up the top scorer with 36 goals in just 30 games because of this phenomenal season for the cadets. Messi was getting recognized all over Europe in 2003. He received an offer from Arsenal to join the team. But despite the fantastic offer, Messi decided he wanted to stay loyal to Barcelona. The 2003-2004 season became an iconic season for Lionel Messi. Within this season, he flew up the ranks, debuting for a record 5 teams in a single campaign. During this season, he played for the Juveniles B, Juveniles A, Barcelona C, and Barcelona B teams.
Before he'd even got into Barcelona's first team, all the first teamers were aware of him. There'd been this occasion where a lot of them were away on an international break, and so they needed players to come in and take part in first team training, and Messi was one of those. And Ludovic Julie, the Barcelona French international player who was part of this training session, tells this story about how this little kid was absolutely destroying people, and grown men were being embarrassed by this little 15, 16-year-old kid on the training pitch, and Frank Rijkaard could not ignore him. And very, very quickly, the Barcelona first team was saying, this boy has to be involved. And at that time, Ronaldinho was the man at Barcelona, and Ronaldinho saw Lionel Messi train, and he picked him out as being the next Ronaldinho, the next big thing for Barcelona, and was insisting more or less that Lionel Messi became part of the first team scene at the club.
Although Messi didn't officially play for the team in this season, he did finish that campaign, having scored for 4 of his 5 teams with a total of 36 goals in all official competition. Going into the 2004-2005 season, Messi finally made his debut for the Barcelona first team, coming onto the field in the 82nd minute.
So when he was 17 and 3 months old, Lionel Messi became the youngest ever player to play in Barcelona's first team, coming on as a substitute against Espanyol, and his first goal followed soon after. Also the youngest player ever to score a goal for Barcelona's first team against Albacete at the end of that season, which finished in 2005. So now Lionel Messi, at the insistence of his teammates, is in the Barcelona side.
Messi clocked over 77 minutes in just 9 matches for the Barcelona team during this season. He was also a regular player for the B team and a key one as well. But by the end of the season, it was clear to both staff and fans that Messi was the next superstar in the making and was going to become a key player in the 2005-2006 season and the 2005-2006 campaign. Lionel Messi was a full-time first-team player. He had been fully promoted from the B team and was training with the team on a daily basis. Within the first few games, Messi was blowing away fans on both sides of the stadiums. His skills were truly on show, and his abilities were becoming renowned everywhere he went.
While still a teenager, the world is taking note of Messi and recognizing that he is one of the greatest players already in the game at this very tender age. And what he has, I think, is this incredible low center of gravity, such acceleration, such tremendous pace. He can glide across the ground, but he's also got an incredible physical strength, which despite his size, you wouldn't imagine that he could be as strong as he is, but he is literally kicked from pillar to post game in, game out, and it doesn't seem to affect him. He just gets back onto his feet and dribbles around people again, and it never seems to knock him.
Here's the youngest. Oh, look at that. Poetic from Messi.
And it's that kind of persistence and incredible strength to go with the pace and skill which signals him out at this age as being something really, really special.
Messi was starring in some of the biggest games Barcelona played in this season. He played 4 games against the biggest rivals, Real Madrid in La Liga and Chelsea in the semi-final of the Champions League. Together with players like Samuel Eto'o and Ronaldinho, Messi was easily becoming a key player for Barcelona and helped strengthen their attacking force. But unfortunately, near the end of the season, Messi suffered from a hamstring injury, which would put him out of the first team completely, meaning he would go on to miss the Champions League final against Arsenal in Paris. Messi was devastated by this so much that he didn't even celebrate their win, something that he later came to regret. After fully recovering going into the 2006-2007 season, Barcelona were gradually declining in La Liga and European tournaments. But this didn't stop Messi's performance and actually helped him to develop more as a player. And despite the poor Barcelona form, this was actually Messi's most groundbreaking season so far. During this season, he went on to score 17 goals in just 36 games across all competitions. He also got his first hat trick for the club, scoring against their closest rivals, Real Madrid, in the Clásico match. This hat trick meant that Messi was the first person to score one in an El Clasico match in over 12 years.
This is the game that is going to be remembered as the Lionel Messi match.
It was clear that Messi was becoming an extremely important asset for the club and was actually being compared to his fellow countryman and footballing legend Diego Maradona. This comparison was made clear to fans in April 2007 when Messi went on to score what could only be described as a Maradona-esque goal against Getafe in the first leg of the Copa del Rey semi-finals.
There probably isn't a football fan in the world that hasn't seen the Diego Maradona goal against England in the World Cup quarter-final of 1986 in Mexico, when he runs from inside his own half of the field pretty much through the whole England team and glides around Peter Shilton and tucks the ball into the back of the net. Absolutely certain that there's no Argentine who hasn't seen that goal a countless number of times. And of course, Lionel Messi would have grown up with that goal from the great Maradona. So then in the Copa del Rey against Getafe, Messi picks the ball up inside his own half of the field. I wonder at what point he realises that he's almost scoring the exact same goal, because it is extraordinary. From almost the same area of the pitch, beating players in exactly the same way, finishing in virtually the same way, Lionel Messi replicates one of the greatest goals we've ever seen.
This goal sent shockwaves all over the world, as it was not only a good goal, it was a world-class goal that could only be achieved by a few people. Messi was being regarded as the best player in the world, and still at only the age of 19. With Ronaldinho out of the squad and the following season, he had become the star player for the squad. At the 2007 Ballon d'Or, Messi made the podium alongside Kaká and Cristiano Ronaldo. He unfortunately finished in the third spot, but it was still an incredible achievement for him. He also got nominated for FIFA World Player of the Year, coming second again behind Kaká, but beating Cristiano Ronaldo. He had finally had a taste of what it was like to be an award-winning player. But his mission to become the best player ever was still not over. Going into 2008, Barcelona were failing to achieve any form of success. The past 2 seasons had seen them trophyless and not even contenders for top position in La Liga. Ronaldinho had dramatically lost all form and was not even considered one of the best players in the world anymore. And on top of that regard, the Barcelona manager, who had previously led Barcelona to win the league 2 times in a row, had lost control of his team. Things needed to change, and in 2009, Barcelona were appointed with their new manager, the former Barcelona captain Pep Guardiola. Messi continued at the start of this 2009 season to play on the wing. During this first season under Guardiola, Messi finally won his first Ballon d'Or and FIFA World Player of the Year award, winning the awards by their greatest voting margin in each trophy's history. But going into the 2010 season, Guardiola would go on to change his role, a decision that would actually make Messi the player that he is known for today.
Desde que llegó él, cambió todo para nosotros, para el club, se consiguieron todo lo que se consiguió y para mí es fundamental Guardiola en todo este proyecto del Barcelona.
I think when you have a player like Messi, it's very difficult to tie down to one position, but Rijkaard had mostly used him with Barcelona on the right-hand side as a winger, with license to roam and cut inside. And when Guardiola took over at Barcelona, that's where Messi started off as well. But it was Guardiola probably who had the vision to see that maybe that was a position which restricted him, and actually to get the Lionel Messi unleashed, he had to move him into the middle. And that's what he did. In all matches in the Clásico against Real Madrid, Messi pops up as a kind of a false 9 position, and suddenly we see that Messi is capable of even more than we've seen from him on that right-hand side of midfield.
Primero sería muy difícil encontrar a otro entrenador y que haga lo que consiguió él acá, todo lo que ganó y más que lo que ganó, cómo hizo jugar al equipo, porque si el Barcelona juega de esta manera desde hace 4 años es porque él lo hizo así, porque él lo quiso de esta manera, por cómo prepara los entrenamientos, por cómo prepara los partidos y por cómo quiere que juegue sus equipos. Creo que la imagen que dio el Barcelona durante estos 4 años habla por sí sola, ¿no? Por el juego que hace, por el reconocimiento que tuvo en todo el mundo, ¿no? No creo que haya tenido ayuda de nadie. Por algo en todo el mundo es reconocido como el mejor equipo del mundo y muchos dicen el mejor de la historia, así que no creo que tengamos que darle importancia a lo que se dice.
The false nine position became Guardiola's trademark, and for Messi, it's helped him become much more of a threat in front of goal. During the 2009 to 2010 season, Messi went on to break the goal-scoring record for Barcelona, a record that had been set previously by the legendary Barcelona striker Ronaldo in 1996.
So in 2009-10, Messi manages to equal this record of 47 goals scored by the Brazilian Ronaldo, the man that they called the phenomenon. And Messi manages to equal that 47 goals in a season for Barcelona, a football club which has had as many great strikers as Barcelona have, and have had Ronaldo, the great Brazilian. Messi comes along and equals what he's done. I mean, it is extraordinary to do that. Season in, season out, Messi begins scoring goals at ridiculous numbers.
Under Pep Guardiola, Barcelona were thriving again. Messi also went on to win his second Ballon d'Or and FIFA World Player of the Year award. They went on to win the La Liga title once again, and in 2011, Messi finished the season with 53 goals and 24 assists, becoming Barcelona's all-time single-season top scorer and the first player in Spanish football to reach the 50-goal benchmark. On top of that, he once again won the Ballon d'Or, making this his 3rd win, allowing him to become the 4th player in history to win the Ballon d'Or 3 times. But going into the next season, his previous groundbreaking record of 53 goals in a season would seem just like a drop in the ocean compared to his 2012 to 2013 campaign.
Messi's not just a goal scorer, of course, he does so much more than that, but he was shattering records set by the greatest goal scorers of all time. Guys who did not much more than just score goals saw their records fall to a guy who did so much more than just score goals. In 1972, Gerd Müller had scored 85 goals in that calendar year for Bayern Munich and Germany. Well, in 2012, Lionel Messi scored 91, breaking that record. An extraordinary feat, 91 goals in a calendar year, averaging more than 1.5 goals per game in La Liga. It's insane.
Como siempre digo, mi familia, la gente que me quiere, que está al lado mío en los momentos más feos, más duros, la que comparte conmigo las cosas lindas también, al vestuario, que aprovecho para agradecer a los compañeros que vinieron, y como siempre digo, obviamente sin ellos no hubiese conseguido ni esta ni las dos anteriores, y bueno, como dije recién, a todas las personas que quieren el bien mío. Es un premio para el grupo más que individualmente, porque son muchos goles y solo no lo hice conseguir.
What I can say about Messi, more than I was talking or the people is talking, is one of the gods of the football. It's unbelievable the design. It's unbelievable the capacity to fight with the ball on the feet, to fight without the ball on the feet. What happened when he touched the ball? When he doesn't have the ball, it's unbelievable the character, how we press, how we work for the team.
Scoring 91 goals in a single calendar year got acknowledged by the Guinness World Records, and he continues to hold that record due to this phenomenal season. Messi also went on to win his fourth Ballon d'Or, becoming the first player to ever win 4 trophies. Displaying to everyone that Messi was the greatest of all time, heading into the 2013-2014 season, Barcelona seemed to be heavily reliant on Lionel Messi to win games and trophies.
Barcelona is arguably the greatest club side of all time, and that alone would be daunting enough until you factor in this man. The incomparable, the maestro, the unmarkable. Lionel Messi is simply the puzzle that Chelsea have to solve.
Statistics and history go out the window. The way he's playing is solely about us performing in these 2 games to try and stop him, and with the ability he's got, we have to be at our best.
Pundits were labeling the side's era as Messi-dependent. However, going into the 2014-2015 season, under the new management of Luis Enrique, new faces appeared within the Barcelona squad. These new faces would be Neymar and Luis Suarez, and together they were the incredible strike force known as MSN, and were terrifying in front of goal.
Always throughout time there's been forward lines that have excited people and gone down in legend, and Barcelona obviously had one of those in the MSN combination, Messi, Suarez, Neymar, which came a few years after Real Madrid's BBC with Bale, Benzema and Cristiano. It was a wonderful, wonderful setup. Neymar, Suarez and Messi in the same side. Messi with his incredible goal-scoring attributes, but also the wonderful assists that he brings to the side and to the other 2. Suarez, absolutely deadly in front of goal, a finisher supreme, and Neymar, the kind of maverick on the other side, unpredictable, can be performing at a level below the other 2 quite often, but can also on his day be absolutely sensational. And who would not want to be part of that front line?
Together, they scored a staggering 270 goals in just the one season. They also helped assist each other, achieving a total of 133 assists between them. They also went on to win back-to-back La Liga titles, 2 Spanish Cups, a Spanish Super Cup, a Champions League, a European Super Cup, and a FIFA Club World Cup, totaling 8 incredible trophies in just 2 seasons.
Siempre lo dije, ¿no? Que no juego ni para ser el mejor de la historia, ni el mejor del momento, ni nada de eso. Juego para intentar hacer las cosas bien, primero para el equipo, ya sea el Barcelona o la selección argentina, después para la gente y sobre todo para mí. A mí me hace sentir bien cuando me salen las cosas como yo quiero y así como vivo, por eso no tengo ningún tipo de miedo a lo que se dice. Estoy más allá de todo eso, para lo bien, para lo mal.
With Messi, Suarez, and Neymar at the wheel, Barcelona were achieving record-breaking seasons. It seemed like the dependency on Messi was gone, and they could all work together to win as many league titles as possible.
Un mundial es diferente a todo, ¿no? Jugar el mundial, poder estar ahí, creo que es algo muy lindo, creo que están las mejores selecciones, que va a ser muy difícil para todos. Y ojalá que a Argentina le vayan las cosas bien, podamos conseguir el objetivo y vamos a disfrutar. Es en Sudamérica, vamos a estar cerca de nuestra gente, que seguramente va a haber muchísima la que va a ir, así que esperemos que vayan las cosas bien.
Whilst Messi's time at Barcelona seemed to be filled with record-breaking moments and constant league titles, his career playing for Argentina was telling a different story, one that was up for constant criticism.
Hace mucho tiempo que Argentina no logra estar entre los 4 finalistas de una Copa del Mundo y eso para un país tan futbolero como este es muchísimo tiempo.
In contrast really to his time at Barcelona, where silverware and trophies just seem to have come in a constant and steady flow, his career with Argentina has seen him finish runner-up so many times, Copa America, World Cup. It's almost been one disappointment after another. And somehow Messi has never really stamped his personality on a World Cup finals. He did win the vote for the best player in the World Cup of 2014, but Argentina lost the final, of course, to Germany. And it felt like it was a consolation prize for Messi as an individual, because he deserves to be on that podium for what he's achieved throughout his career. Whereas actually in that World Cup, was he the best player at the 2014 World Cup? Many people would say not. Again, a World Cup passing by without Messi being able to enlighten it in the way he has with his club.
Since playing for Argentina's first team, Messi had only gone on to get one World Cup grand final. And although he was the captain, the strength of the side always seemed to be questioned, going into every international competition despite having some of the best attacking players in the world.
No hay que buscarle toda la responsabilidad a Leo, sino todos tenemos que tratar de aportar lo que cada uno sabe para tratar de conseguir el objetivo que ya todos saben. Entonces, bueno, hay que estar tranquilos, hay que trabajar mucho toda esta semana que tenemos para que cuando empiece a rodar la pelota, que tengamos el primer partido, tratar de no cometer errores.
Probably one of the problems for Messi with Argentina is that it is all about Messi. And great though he is, Barcelona have always had fantastic players around him and behind him in Xavi and Iniesta, or in Neymar and Suarez, whereas basically Argentina is Lionel Messi and has been for a long time, despite the fact that there's Dybala and there's Aguero and other terrific players. If you stop Messi, you stop Barcelona, and that has counted against them.
In 2016, after yet another disappointing display from Argentina at the world stage, Lionel Messi announced he was going to be retiring from international duty and not performing for Argentina in the next World Cup. However, leading up to the 2018 World Cup, Messi found himself going back into training sessions and taking up the role of captain once again. Maybe this World Cup would be the one for Argentina, a chance for Messi to show that he could prove that Argentina weren't a dying force when it came to international tournaments. Argentina were under the management of Jorge Sampaoli, who had previously worked wonders for Chile in 2012 up to 2016. But unfortunately for Argentina and Messi, this would be yet another disappointing year for the squad. But it would also go on to be a year that was filled with drama.
So the 2018 World Cup finals were yet another disappointment really for Argentina and Lionel Messi. Messi missed a penalty in the opening game, a draw with Iceland, massive disappointment. And then they were absolutely crushed in Nizhny Novgorod by Croatia, where it seemed like the wheels were falling off completely. Coach Sampaoli at this point seemed to lose the squad, and there were rumours flying around all over the place that Messi would then virtually take over the coaching position, that the players selected the team for the last group game, which was against Nigeria in St. Petersburg, which was one they had to win. There were 5 changes to the starting 11. And it appeared even that during that Nigeria game that the coach was consulting with Messi about substitutions. Messi scored a brilliant goal. Nigeria equalised. Marcos Rojo actually scored the goal that squeaked Argentina out of the group. They came that close to not even getting out of the group.
Tension seemed high within the Argentina camp during this World Cup, with a lot of pundits labeling this side. Messi's Argentina, even though they just got through the group stages, their next match against France was hit with yet again more disappointment. But alongside that, it also showed signs that Messi may not be the best player the world had ever seen when it came to performing on the world stage.
And having got out of the group just with a narrow victory against Nigeria, Argentina came up against France in the first knockout game, and Messi was almost outshone by Kylian Mbappe, who was the bright young thing in the French side, went on to have a fantastic World Cup. It was a thrilling game which Argentina lost, and at the end of it, it just felt slightly that the mantle was being passed on.
Argentina's final performance in the World Cup certainly wasn't the worst they had ever seen, and they did show some promise compared to previous games. But unfortunately, France were the better team. indulgent as World Cup campaign was put to rest. Once again, they failed to achieve an international win. And once again, Messi had failed to prove himself on international duty. Back at Camp Nou, Messi was still achieving record-breaking seasons during the 2015-2016 season at Barcelona, when Messi went on to win his 5th Ballon d'Or, an achievement that has only ever been done by one other player, Cristiano Ronaldo.
There's obviously never any question that Lionel Messi wouldn't win the Ballon d'Or. He did it for the first time in 2010. He was 22 years old only. For Messi to be on that list, of course, is important. Any footballer is going to look at their legacy in terms of titles won, and those include individual titles as well as club titles. So if you are to be considered as one of the best we've ever seen, you have to win the Ballon d'Or. You don't have to win it 5 times, but you might as well.
Moving on to the 2016-17 UEFA Champions League, Barcelona went on to win one of the best comebacks ever seen before in Champions League history. Barcelona beat Paris Saint-Germain 6-1 in the second leg, after losing 0 in the first leg. MSN showed their true strength during this game, with Suarez opening the match with a goal within the first 3 minutes. Neymar scored 2 goals and Messi scored a penalty. This game displayed their true skill as a squad, and despite losing out during the Champions League quarter-final to Juventus, that one game stood out as one of the best displays of Barcelona's strength and determination as a squad. 2017. Barcelona lost Neymar to PSG. It was the end of the MSN trio. But despite the recent loss of one of their strongest strikers, Barcelona still went on to win the 2017-2018 La Liga Championship, making this the 25th trophy.
Siempre se habla de la lucha por el Balón de Oro. Ahora mismo eres claro favorito. ¿Qué importancia le das?
Bueno, ya lo dije muchas veces, ¿no? La verdad que no es mi objetivo los premios individuales, ni ese, ni la bota, ni ninguno. El objetivo nuestro es intentar de conseguir todo lo que jugamos. Como dije antes, gracias a Dios estamos muy en camino y ojalá terminemos de la mejor manera.
Messi's career at Barcelona continues to thrive. In the season of 2018-2019, Messi became the top scorer in Europe once again, earning him his 6th European Golden Shoe, an achievement that only he has achieved with Cristiano Ronaldo, behind him with 4.
Entiendo tu orgullo como padre, me emocionó escucharlo y por eso nosotros hemos querido ir un poco más allá y que Thiago y Mateo y no fueran solamente testigos de este evento, ya han salido también en el vídeo, sino que también fueran protagonistas principales, que sean ellos quienes te hagan la entrega de la bota de oro. Así que pido por favor a Thiago y a Mateo que nos acompañen aquí al escenario.
But I think it's got to be in a Barcelona shirt that you look back on Messi in the Champions League finals that he won with them, particularly probably the one at Wembley in 2011 against Manchester United, when he was the outstanding player on the pitch, as he so often is, and Barcelona just toyed with United. And what was a very, very long evening for Alex Ferguson's team, and Messi just conjured and created and conducted what was a fantastic Barcelona display.
Lionel Messi is the best player Barcelona has ever had the pleasure to have in the squad, and despite having constant offers from other clubs around the world, he has always stayed loyal to the Barcelona squad and frequently calls it his home.
Barcelona and Messi have been together for so long now that it seems almost inconceivable that they could ever part. it may happen, but I think the reason that he's always turned down approaches from any other club is partly, if you go back to his childhood, he's from a family that has some roots in Catalonia. He's very aware of what Barcelona did for him with his medical problems as a very young player. He only really speaks Spanish, and he is very, very comfortable in the city and the environment of Barcelona, who have given him everything he could ever want in terms of trophies and success, working under the likes of Guardiola, winning just about everything there is to win. Barcelona have given him all of that. There have been no disappointments in his club career. All the disappointments have been with Argentina and his international career. So I think it would be a tremendous wrench for Messi to walk out on Barcelona.
At the age of 32, Messi is still regarded as one of the best players to have ever graced the sport. He is still breaking records and still putting in monumental performances week in, week out at Barcelona. In December 2019, Lionel Messi once again shattered another world record. 6th Ballon d'Or trophy, beating Liverpool's Virgil van Dijk and Juventus' Cristiano Ronaldo for the title of the world's greatest player. The 6th win pushed him ahead of Ronaldo and made him the only player to receive 6 Ballon d'Or trophies in the history of football.
I think many people thought we'd never see anybody like Diego Maradona, and out of the same country came Lionel Messi, and has done everything that Maradona did and more in terms of club success. And I think to be able to do it for a decade and a half, being kicked week in, week out, is something that even Maradona's body couldn't stand up to. And Messi has done that. It's the sheer consistency, the incredible numbers of goals every season, not just a season now and again, but every season, which actually has to probably put Messi even above Maradona, and that is really saying something.
But although he is known for his skills on the pitch, he is also known for his brand deals. Since 2006, Messi has had an ongoing partnership with Adidas, supplying him with boots and clothing. In 2017, the brand took this relationship a step further, pushing forward a lifetime sponsorship deal with him to this date. He is frequently promoting their merchandise and hosting their events.
Hoy presentamos tus nuevas botas y quería preguntar qué es lo que más valoras a la hora de cambiar de botas. ¿Qué condiciones indiscutibles tienen que tener para que te sientas cómodo?
Que no cambien tanto a las anteriores, ¿no? Que sea más o menos parecida a lo que vengo usando anteriormente, ¿no? Por el tema de la comodidad. Creo que para nosotros lo fundamental es sentirnos bien con lo que usamos, sentirla cómodo. A veces lo que hacen las botas buscan muchas diferencias, muchas cosas para hacer la bota más visible, pero nosotros lo que queremos es comodidad a la hora de jugar, nada más.
¿Y participas en el proceso de diseño de tu propio calzado, además de los temas técnicos de las botas?
La verdad que sí, porque como dije recién, lo que pretendo y me gustaría siempre es estar cómodo con lo que uso, y por eso me involucro en lo que hacen para intentar de juntos hacerlo lo mejor posible.
Alongside that, he has also worked with brands such as Pepsi and EA Sports, having his face on the front of their products and having him star in their commercials. But in 2019, he also opened up his own clothing brand. The store, known as the Messi Store, sells branded clothing, and more recently releasing his own hydration beverage. Because of these intelligent business deals, Messi has now become the second wealthiest football player in the world, just behind Cristiano Ronaldo. But Messi is also known for more than just his brand deals. He also does a lot of work for charities and has set up his own foundation called the Leo Messi Foundation, which has helped support children from less fortunate backgrounds, children with cancer, and children with life-changing disabilities. In July 2023, Messi joined Inter Miami CF in Major League Soccer, signing a contract that extends until December 31st, 2025. As of now, there is no official confirmation regarding his retirement plans. Speculation exists about his future post-2025, with some suggesting he might retire after the 2026 World Cup. It's safe to say that he has inspired millions all over the world, and although he is one of the quietest and reserved players in the sport, everyone knows the name Lionel Messi because of his incredible performances on the pitch and his community work off the pitch.
A whole generation of kids, boys and girls, have been absolutely inspired by Lionel Messi to play the game and to pretend to be Messi in the back garden, in the streets, in the yard. And that's probably his legacy around the world. I think his legacy in Argentina is probably quite a burden for him to bear, because for all that he's done it in Europe. He hasn't really done it with the national team. They haven't won a World Cup or a Copa America while he's been a part of that squad. So while he satisfied the world, perhaps back in Argentina, they're still hungry for the next Messi who can do even more.
Messi's legacy will live on for years to come, and although he is approaching retirement age, his ability is still at a world standard. He is the captain of Barcelona and one of the most idolized players of all time. No matter how long he keeps playing for, he will always be remembered as one of the greatest players of all time.
Well, it's really difficult to imagine that there's anything about Lionel Messi's life in Barcelona and with Barcelona Football Club that isn't very nice indeed. However, he's never played in his native Argentina. He's never played a senior game in that country. It may be that he goes back to Rosario and decides he wants to play for Newell's Old Boys, the club he supported, in the way that Diego Maradona was always linked with Boca Juniors and couldn't resist going back there. It may be that Messi decides that he does want to go back and play for his public in his city with his club.
Lionel Messi's name will forever be etched in football's history books. A magician on the pitch, an inspiration off it, his legacy is immortal.
Intenté quedarme con todo lo que aprendí desde que empecé en el primer equipo hasta el día de hoy. Intenté de seguir creciendo, como lo dije siempre, en la etapa que estuvo Guardiola, más allá de los títulos que se consiguió, que siempre es lo importante al final. Yo como jugador crecí y aprendí muchísimo y bueno, y ahora intento de seguir agregando cosas a mi fútbol.